back again, Geek Stackers, to talk about some interesting comic book stuff. I was grooving to the intro. So, I read this book and I covered it on my personal channel, The Thinkening. Go follow that channel. And I had you read this, and that is these two books right here, Tales from the Battlefield and The Mighty Golden Patriot. Now, I enjoyed The Mighty Golden Patriot more than I thought I was going to, like way more, like exponentially more.
I feel the same way, especially compared to the prequel book. The prequel book wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. And I think it's mostly because the art wasn't doing it any favors, right?
It was jarring. So when you, if you, the art style, this is the impression that I got. It wasn't bad art, but it seemed like it was a manga artist that was trying to draw
comic books
in traditional comic book form. And it does, like the cover art.
Cover art looks crazy.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. It's just that the interiors, again, they weren't bad. I'm not ragging on the artist. I think he did
a great job.
I think he did a good job. It's just the art styles were a little, little different.
Uncomplimentary to each other. We'll just say that.
Yeah, it was. But then you get into the main story.
Oh my gosh.
The Mighty Golden Patriot.
Dog.
What was your initial feeling? So let me lay the groundwork. I read this book probably, when did this drop? A month ago? And I kept telling you, you need to read this book.
I was like, because then I had a day where I was catching up on some comic books. I have a bunch of comic books, as we all do, that I just haven't read. It's just a stack at this point. I'm like, I got to get to it. Because new stuff keeps dropping, and I'm like, okay, I got to start locking in. But yeah, I read it. And you know what it reminded me of? I don't know if anybody would remember this. You might. The Ultimate Avengers movies from 2006, 2007.
The cartoons?
Yeah.
Vaguely.
It reminds me of a lot of those scenes that you see of Captain America before he gets, dipped down into the ice. And I liked it. I was like, oh, wow.
This really did feel like classic Americana comic books,
yeah.
But it wasn't dated. It didn't feel like YellowFlash was trying to
act like someone from
that era, right?
Like you could tell it's in that era, but it also doesn't feel like, oh, gee golly whiz, like middle of the comic book. Like it almost reminds you of the Bruce Timm style cartoons from the early 2000s and 90s a little bit. Not like the art style, but kind of how the story progressed, some of the action scenes, the characterizations.
Yeah,
I was like, wow, it's just a good old superhero. That's literally, it just felt like just a good old superhero.
Comic books that understand we want to read comic books about heroes fighting bad guys and getting into some interesting battles. That's what I got from this. So I want to show.
Was that noise on the soundboard?
No. It was the computer in the back. So
I was like, what?
What's going on here? So I wanted to show one of the panels when he's fighting this. It's like a mech or something like that. It's a really, it's a really interesting story, and the way it all plays out.
The art is so good.
It is really good,
and it's really funny when you compare it to the first one, because it's like the level of detail and depth in a lot of the characters look a lot better in the second one.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, because I wasn't expecting that
really
from the art, and then I open up, I'm like, oh,
and that's what I tried to explain to you when I first read the book. So these panels right here, I don't know if you can see, I'll show you both of the panels. These were some good panels. I think I read it. So a little bit of backstory. YellowFlash, YouTube commentator, friends with Eric July.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yes. And so YellowFlash, of course, has been covering cultural commentary.
He got a beard?
I don't know if I've ever actually seen YellowFlash. I don't know if he shows himself in his videos.
Oh, I thought for some reason I was thinking he was that dude we met at Mega.
No. So YellowFlash cultural commentary has issues with things going on in the comic book industry, as many people do.
Right.
And he decided to do something about it. I'm going to create a book and I'm going to make it good.
Well, and I appreciate that a lot because everybody can complain about comic books. And when people have been complaining about comic books for just about a little over 10 years, right?
Yeah.
It takes a rare sport to be like, you know what? Instead of complaining and wasting my time, wasting my breath, let me be the change I want to see in the industry.
And I will admit,
he's killing it.
If this is the first thing he's ever written, I don't know if he's written anything else before.
Yeah.
And if this is the first thing he's written, my goodness.
Doing pretty good.
My goodness, this was good. Now, John Dillard, I don't know what John Dillard's art history is.
John Dillard. I haven't heard that name before. I will say in the indie space, even in like the new comic book space, I was talking about this on the video that I uploaded to the channel a few days ago. There's a lot of new artists that are coming out that are pretty good.
Yeah, there is. There really is.
And I think I'm gonna drop a video on the. Actually, we might be able to do that next week. But yeah, there's a lot of new comic book artists that are coming out that aren't bad. Like the new class of comic book artists is looking really good. And I think that DC had a highlight recently of their newer comic book artists. And I'm like, I'm glad that people like Scott Snyder and Jim Lee understand the importance of passing the torch on to the next generation of talent that's gonna take over when they leave eventually.
Yeah, I think there's certain people who understand what comic books need. And I think Jim Lee is one of those people who understand it, even though I have my criticisms of his running of DC, but I still do believe he understands what's needed. And I think Scott Snyder as well understands what's needed to carry a story. Much like Hickman, I believe he understands what's needed to carry a story. Now, Marvel has their own issues. That's a whole nother thing.
They just hate money.
So John Dillard, I was looking up some of his stuff, an independent comic book creator and artist known for his detailed line work. Okay, so notable comic books, The Buckler, 50-page graphic novel, follow-up titled The Buckler, Canadian Tussle, was launched on the crowdfunding platform Fund My Comic. Okay. Rift Rider, I don't know if I've ever heard of a sci-fi adventure comic co-created with Luke Stone.
Adventure, interesting.
Yeah. Tales from Beyond the Gate. Okay, the horror. Canadian Shield #2.
Guessing this guy's Canadian.
It must be Canadian. Let's see. Because I don't know. I will admit, I don't know much about him. It doesn't say where he's from.
Is he the artist or the penciler?
He's the penciler artist.
Yeah.
Of the Mighty Golden Patriot.
I was thinking the color.
Yeah, the ink. I don't know who did the colors. Let's see. The colors were done by, it does not say. So I wonder if
you think he did the colors too?
He might have done his own colors. So YellowFlash is the writer. John Dillard is the artist. Invisible Art Studios did the letters. Lead editor, Literature Devil, Karen Barrow is one of the editors as well. And Jen and Sylvia Saska, who are killing it.
Oh, who would have thought?
At the Rippaverse, they are killing it. They're crushing it.
So that makes us being so good less surprising now.
The story was so tightly contained when you got to the main book that I was actually shocked at how well the story flowed. It's set, so for those of you who don't know, it's set in World War II, Africa. And if you know anything about World War II, it's, a well-known secret that there were prominent members in the Nazi regime that were obsessed with the occult, ancient findings, and all that kind of things. And there's been movies based around that. And some
Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Yeah, I believe so. I've been so long since I've seen that movie. But there's been comic books that have input that as well. Captain America being one of them.
The
Red Skull.
Red Skull.
Yeah. And they incorporated that into this book and this amulet they were looking for in Africa.
It fits. It's funny how both the World War II American versus German aesthetic fits so well with this more like Egyptian architecture. Like
it does,
because it does remind me of Indiana Jones. I'm realizing that now that we're talking about it. I'm like, I'm about to rewatch that movie.
I wonder where YellowFlash got his inspiration. And I think you can tell in certain parts of the book, I was like, okay, he was clearly inspired, at least to some degree, by Captain America.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It had to be.
Well, like, because the dude, the main character, I forgot his name already.
Yes, I'll have to read it again. I should have taken some notes.
But the main character reminds you of this altruistically good person that's just like, even to their own detriment, would do the right thing.
Right.
And I like, you see characters like Captain America, Spider-Man, Batman, Tanjiro, that are just these very good characters, and it's like that's exactly the type of character that he is. Like whenever everything, spoiler alert. Obviously, if you're watching this video, it's going to be a long video about the comic book. Spoiler alert. Just telling you now. At the end, when everything's done and the fighting's over and they're getting saved, his first thought is like, oh my gosh, where's the chick who's been helping me this whole time? Right? Like he didn't get shot. There was an explosion and he's like, his first thought was like, oh my goodness, what's going on with the person who helped me do all this stuff? And that was like his first thought. Or even like when they're in the planes in the beginning and
his name is Jack. And I think it was, what was his last name? Because it was Rogers? I think it was actually Rogers.
It's Jack Rogers. This dude definitely loves Captain America.
I think it was, but I can't remember. You can keep talking while I'm looking through the book. I'm trying to find.
Yeah, even the scene where you see like the banter between him and his I think supposed best friend in the comic book, back and forth.
The pilots. Yeah.
And then when they start, getting some fire, he's like, "Oh, watch out." And his first thoughts to be like, oh, like even when his thing was on fire, I think I could be wrong. I think he was like making sure his friend was okay as he was coming down. And he was just like, get back to base. I'll figure it out. But it's really cool. And then you know what? Even the scene where they start, threatening to kill the civilians in the area he's in, he's like, all right,
oh yeah,
I gotta do something.
Where he
and he blows up the Jeep or the Humvee. Yeah,
it's like you said, he has that Captain America. I will not allow the evil to encroach on the innocent mentality. And
right.
I love it. I think comic books have gone, you can tell me if you agree or not, slightly nihilistic.
No.
Comic books.
No. Comic books, anime. Look, there has been from about 2012 to I want to say last year, right? Comic books, manga, everything has gone to a more nonchalant, nihilistic viewpoint of like, oh, it's a nuanced thing. You can't always do the right thing, blah, blah, this and that. And then even to his credit, it's a great movie, but Man of Steel, it was a more detached Superman. It at least felt that way. And then you see the onset of stuff like the Spider-Man comic books, Demon Slayer with a character like Tanjiro, who's also like ontologically just a good person. The new Superman movie where he's the same way, right? I think we're going back to what made a lot of these comic book characters fun to watch, right? Because you want to see the good person win. Like we've had 30 plus years of the edgier stories where everything goes wrong. I'm sick of it. I was a fan for a bit. There's some of them I like, but I'm sick of it. I want to go back to the characters that are so nice that they're nice to their own detriment.
Yeah, it kind of gives you an escape from reality.
Yeah, but it also gives you something to aspire towards too.
It does. And I think that's kind of what we've wanted from comic books. And again, to his credit, I think YellowFlash realized this. And in his mind, this is just me saying what I think.
Just an educated guess.
Yeah. He probably thought people want a true hero's journey. The hero is the definitive good guy. There's no nuance. He is the good guy and there are bad guys. He is going to do the right thing and the bad guys are going to skirt the line to being outright evil.
Right. And I think we've had enough of the anti-hero. All right.
I agree.
I'm not saying they're bad.
They're
but
not.
There's been so many of them and so much lack of like the ontologically good hero where I'm like, let's get back to that.
They always, well, I won't say always. Yeah, his name is Jack Rogers.
Okay. Yeah, Captain America inspired the character.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah. Definitely
he has the blonde hair too.
Yeah, definitely inspired the character. But yes, back to what you were saying about the scene where they were going to terrorize the locals.
No, they were going to kill them.
He was like, he was like, I cannot stand by and watch these people terrorized because they're looking for me, because he got the amulet. The Germans were looking for the amulet and he became the Mighty Golden Patriot. It's one half of an entire amulet. And then there's a German super soldier that has the other half, which turns out to be his nemesis by the end of the book. And I was like, oh, I like this story. Like it's
almost like an American Power Ranger.
You know what? Power Ranger meets Captain America meets Norse mythology almost.
Yeah.
It's almost like a mix of all of those things.
I'm like, and I'm rocking with it because I'm going to be honest. I wasn't the biggest Power Rangers fan when I was younger. And then I got like a little bit older. There were some of them that I liked. And I think the Super Sentai thing and the Power Ranger thing is really cool. And his suit looks like a Power Ranger suit. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
So you know what other book I'm not gonna get off into that book, but another book I'm gonna recommend for you that I bought and I have both of them is Battle Brick Road.
Battle Brick Road. I gotta read Gooding first.
Oh man, Gooding the polymath. Gooding. But anyway, back to this book before we get sidetracked. The art was one of the shining parts of this book.
Yeah.
The detailed line work, much as, when I looked up John Dillard, much as was mentioned, his detail artwork is incredible. Well, I was like, this is good stuff right here.
Especially nowadays, it's such a lack of art that's good and looks like the art on the outside of the book. Like I'll go to the comic book store, and there's this dude.
Bingo.
And we and him will talk, and I'll be like, does your art look like the same on the inside? He's like, yeah, it does. Because I remember that comic book, the X-Men comic book. This was like, at least 10 years ago? We were still living up in the Northwest part.
Which X-Men book?
I don't remember, but I think I picked it up or you picked it up. The art was amazing on the outside. We opened it up. Terrible.
It might have been
terrible.
Well, that happened to me. That happened to me year before last when I picked up Days of Future Past. Because they relaunched that book, and the outside art was great, but the inside artwork wasn't.
Because I remember that happening back when I was in high school. Because we went to the comic books, TBS Comics. Yeah. We went to TBS Comics. And we were over on that back side where like the Marvel stuff is. You picked up an X-Men comic book. You're like, oh, this art looks crazy. I'm like, yeah, it does. Open it up.
Not so crazy. Or maybe yes, crazy.
Yeah.
And I get it. A lot of times now they want to woo people and get people in with dynamic covers.
But
which
have
I don't.
Art on the outside reflect the art on the inside. Like I don't mind having different covers. But if like, let's say you have like a very deep cell shaded outward appearance, like very highly detailed. And then the inside is like a very low detail, full of colors, which is still fine. But I'm like, this is false advertisement. I'm going to be honest.
It is.
That's what it feels like.
It is. It's false advertisement. And it also gives you have an expectation of what you're going to get. In the 90s, I'm dating myself, but in the 90s, the late 80s and 90s, when you saw a comic book cover, it was very well reflective of what you were getting ready to read. And it was very well reflective of the mood inside the comic books. Sometimes today, and I understand why it's done. I get it. But sometimes today you'll see a cover. The cover's dynamic. There's action. You get the sense that it's going to be intriguing and interesting. And you open
up that book, you're like,
okay.
I got scammed.
They got me.
They robbed me.
They got me. They got me. That happens. That's unfortunate. It happens.
Yeah.
This book, that is not the case. What you see on the cover of the book is what you get in the book, and it even exceeds.
I hope they drop another one soon because I'm kind of itching to see what happens next.
Yeah, I don't know when. I'll send him a message on X. I'll
like, yo, where's that next issue at?
And see if he responds. If he responds, hopefully it's going to be sometime soon.
I wonder if we can get him to interview with us. That would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be dope. That would be dope. You'll have to post this on X and follow him and see what he says.
I gotta
from
make
the
a new X account.
Yeah,
I forgot.
we got the Geek Stack X account for whatever reason I don't know if they just stripped your access or what happened.
Well, it wasn't a Geek Stack account. It was just my account.
I
was just like interacting because I followed NDA Andrew on it, and I just can't access it anymore.
Right.
And I think when I tried to, they told me I was banned, but I can still see stuff. I just can't do anything. I'm like,
yeah, I don't really understand.
I didn't even say nothing. I just uploaded some YouTube videos and that was it. So I'll probably use the GeekStack email to make an official GeekStack X account.
Okay, yeah, we do that and tag him in a video and see if he'll be interested in an interview. Because this, I would like to know, has he written anything else before? Because if this is the first thing he's ever written,
he's starting high.
Dude
he's starting
is,
high. He's starting on a very high point.
Yeah. This is because even look, I love Isum. You could tell Eric July had some growing to do as a writer, and by the time you get to Isum 2 and Isum 3, you're like, all right, homie's in his bag.
It was a lot of tell and don't show in the first one. I will say that. In Isum number 1. Yeah. And I noticed that, but I was also like,
I didn't have a problem with
comic book.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with that.
The story of this one, I'm like, it was so.
I don't know how
it draws
so
you
much.
in all the right ways, and it makes you ask all the right questions every panel.
Right.
Where you're like, oh wait, hold on, but what's this? And then you go to something else, you're like, what? Yo, what just happened? Like, and by the end of the book, I have so many questions, but it's not like they're like, you know, like the bad unanswered questions versus the good unanswered questions, right? It's not like plot hole unanswered questions. It's like plot device unanswered question where I'm like, okay, well, how does this draw more into the plot?
Right.
Like, what does this mean further on? Like, it's gonna show something about this in the next one. I'm intrigued. I'm hooked.
Yeah, I like it. I think this could be, if he builds a whole universe out of this, that would be great.
I'd be cool with it.
Yeah, that would be really great. I would love that. And I would love to see how this blossoms, what this becomes, and is this character going to be immortal? Is he going to stretch beyond the World War II, 1940s
like a Dr.
era?
Fate situation where he has to, relinquish it to someone else to keep it going?
Like a mantle.
Like a mantle type of thing?
Yeah. I wonder.
And I think in that case, mantle characters work out a lot more.
I agree.
When it's like more of like an idea. Or like
you're a mortal character. You're going to die off. Who's going to pick this up once you're gone? I am completely fine with that. I'm completely fine with that. I don't necessarily particularly like when they take a character that has a specific power, not from an amulet or something like that, and then say, okay, now so-and-so.
Yeah.
It's like
Batman would work as a mantle character.
Yes, absolutely. Bruce Wayne has to die
only works as a mantle character because there's other people with those powers that, like your Miles Morales or the kids that he has.
Right.
That like sometimes they have the same powers in the comic books.
I don't like Wolverine as a mantle character. I don't even like Captain America as a mantle character.
So
here's my thing.
But here's the thing about Captain America that makes sense why he's a mantle character.
Go ahead.
Right?
Shoot.
It's the same way that Batman being a mantle character makes sense. It's not himself, the character. It's the idea that he represents.
Okay, I can go with that.
That's the reason why I don't have. Now maybe how they do that mantle transfer is negligible, right?
Right.
But I don't mind that. Just like I don't mind the Batman being a mantle character, because the idea of like instilling fear in those who deserve it and giving hope to those who deserve it is a staple of Batman. Just like Captain America's like, he's pretty much the Superman of the DC, of the Marvel universe, right? Truth, justice, the American way is kind of his, like, I don't know if he ever says that.
He doesn't say it, but it's all, it's written it's Americana.
Yeah. So like that being his character, representing like the symbol of American freedom, I don't mind that being a mantle character.
I'm with you on that.
It'd be different if it was like Thor being a mantle character. I'm like, okay, well, it's gonna.
Yeah. How's this work?
Yeah.
Thor's immortal, so yeah, go on forever. I believe if he writes something else on top of this, or like outside, like another character, I'm buying it right out the gate based off what I've seen here.
Yeah.
John Dillard needs to be drawing a lot more stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know what else he's working on.
I'm like,
but yeah,
it almost reminds me of like a Keith Williams type of comic book style with like the very detailed musculature, right? And the characters and the faces that Keith Williams did a lot of the Punisher versus Spider-Man stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That was him. But it's the very detailed musculature.
Yep.
Where it's just like, bring us back to comic book characters having the crazy looking muscles. All right, I liked it,
and the detailed faces too.
Yeah.
Some artists have strengths that other artists don't have, and some artists are well rounded. And John Dillard seems to be a well rounded artist where he knows how much background to give you in a scene, and he knows how much foreground.
I will say I don't. This is not a diss. This is just an observation. I know you were talking about the detailed faces, but I'm not a fan of how he draws faces and facial expressions. It's not that it's bad.
Okay.
But it's one of the parts of his art style that I think I don't personally enjoy.
Okay.
Right? And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying that's me. All right.
Nah,
that's all I'm saying.
That's a light critique. If that's
and
the
that's
critique,
like, that's the only bad thing I gotta say about it. It's pretty good. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you that, because I could say a lot more. We could go to the
I've
absolute
bought
Batman #4 review.
I've bought some indie comics before where I thought to myself, you probably should have spent some more time cooking on this before releasing it.
So, an indie title I kind of feel that way about is Black Science. I love Black Science.
I've never read it.
It's a sci-fi comic book about a family that gets like trapped in different universes, and
kind of like the Rockefellers.
Yeah, but darker. There's like a very crazy death in the first issue, and it's
same thing in the Rockefellers.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you read the Rockefellers?
No.
Oh,
sci-fi.
Oh yeah.
I've been getting really into the sci-fi genre as far as like comic books go lately.
It's Ghost Machine Comics put out by Image.
Oh.
And yeah. Like I'll let you look.
Black Science is also Image too.
Okay, yeah, I'll let you look at Rook Exodus, the Ghost Machine dudes, because I have the trade paperback of the first volume.
Yeah,
and I'll let you look at it and see what you think. But it's kind of similar vein.
To the point, I understand that the art isn't the best in Black Science, but for me the story carries a lot more than that. Like I'm not gonna say the art is bad, okay, because that's not true, but I think that had the story had more detailed art, and maybe it's just a stylistic thing that I just didn't see, right?
It's not your cup of tea.
It's not, but the story is good enough that it keeps me intrigued. I feel the same way about Absolute Wonder Woman. I'm not a big fan of the art. I think the anatomy and like the human body that gets drawn in that comic book is great, but I just like the same thing. But I think it's worse in the Absolute Wonder Woman example because the faces just take me out of it.
What'd you think about the German double agent and Mighty Golden Patriot?
I liked her character.
I like that.
I liked her character a lot. I liked her character a lot.
And you know what? This is what I wonder. Here's my thought.
Which one of them is related to the person in the prequel?
No. I wonder if YellowFlash is going to make her a character similar to Iron Man to be his sidekick. Like give her some kind
she's the person in the chair.
Or no, give her a mechanized suit, kind of like she had from the Germans, but make a more sleek mechanized suit. I wonder if that's the direction they're going to go for the second book.
That would be interesting.
It would be fire.
That would be, because it seemed like she was able to, well, actually, no.
She was
going to say hold her own, but.
No, but she was able to hold her own. It's just that the suit didn't hold up.
Yeah.
The suit didn't hold up. That's not her fault.
Yeah. She had them hands, though. She had them hands. She threw a car at this man mid-fight.
He was like,
hands. I'm sick of this.
she was ready to go, and I really appreciated
that panel right there.
Yeah, I'll show
by the eye of Ra. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, man. That panel right there had me. I was like, absolute cinema.
Yeah,
absolute.
And that's what, you know what, that's a good way to put it, because as I read this book, I felt like I was at a movie. Like a movie premiere. As I'm reading through it, I was like, man, this feels so big. It feels big. And it wasn't, look, I love Marvel comics, but early Marvel was so verbose. Like all the all the words in early Marvel comics would almost take over the art. I love dialogue, but some comics go crazy with dialogue.
Oh, this Imperial book
was a perfect balance.
Yeah.
It was not super verbose. It didn't over-explain. It didn't under-explain.
It gave you exactly what you needed to be able to follow the story, come to your own conclusions, and still be able to enjoy the art at the same time.
And flowed very, very quickly, but it didn't feel like it was rushed.
Because it's a long book.
It is a long book. I don't know if it's probably, I don't know.
Like 45 pages?
Yeah, 45, 50 pages, maybe even 60. I didn't do a count. But it flowed well for it to move so quickly through the story and get you to the conclusion where you're like, it wasn't a cliffhanger conclusion. No. It was a neatly wrapped up. How do you do this?
It's like Star Wars A New Hope.
And this is what's crazy. How do you do this? First time writer, from all I know, you write this comic book. I know everything that happened. I know what the Germans are looking for. I know what you found. You become your character. I see how you escape. You get to the end of the book. I'm not left on a cliffhanger. I understand your powers enough to like your character, and I want to know more. How do you do that all in one book?
Yeah,
that was
well, and it's you know what book reminds me of? I know we just did a video on this. Batman #1.
Batman #1.
Matt Fraction was able to give us exactly the amount of stuff we needed to get interested, to ask more questions, but not enough for us to be like, wait, this is like a complete butthole cliffhanger.
Right.
It was like enough for us to be like, I'm excited for the next one.
Yeah, that was really done well. So I think overall, I'll give my overall rating. I'd say I'll do this kind of like the Source magazine. They used to do 5 mics. We'll do 5 pencils. Out of 5 pencils, I will give this a solid 4.2 to 4.5 pencils.
I'm going to give it a 3.842.
Okay.
3.842.
Okay.
Just because I don't know enough about the actual character of Jack to be in, like, I know about his characterization, but I'm more like, okay, I want to know what's like really going on. Why did he join the war? Does he have other people that he knows in different battalions? Because as far as we know, he only is friends with that one other fly dude.
Oh, I'm sure he has more pilot friends. If he's a pilot, his whole squadron
I like it a lot, but I need more. All
right, that sounds more not necessarily a critique of the book.
No.
But actually a big up of the book, because you're so interested. You're like, all right, I'm not satisfied with only knowing this.
I think when another one comes out, if it's as good, if not better than this, I might have to up that to like a 4 or 5. But as of now,
okay,
I can't lie and say it's a 4 or 5 when I just think
understood.
Yeah,
that's understood. So on that note, that is our review of the Mighty Golden Patriot.